Hi, it's Kate here with the Thaiger with today's top headlines in Thailand and Southeast Asia. Stay tuned for a quick update on the COVID-19 situation in Thailand, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. According to reports in Thai media, the National Security Council's Secretary General says the Council has approved the emergency decree for another 2 months. The extension will still need approval from the Thai cabinet, but the decree gives the government sweeping powers to set curfews and other restrictions to combat COVID-19. The Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration was also established under the order. The Thai government is currently drafting a new disease control law to replace the emergency decree. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha announced a 5-point plan to revise Thailand's economic and production outlook and methods from 2023 to 2027. The first point is that Thailand will need a complete overhaul of how goods are produced in the country. Emphasis is needed on research and development, and the goal would need to fall in line with the needs of the digital economy. The second point is human resources would also need to be developed and enhanced to keep up with the new digital world. The third point would focus on fairness of all people and work to provide equal opportunities in Thailand. The fourth is that environmental conservation should be at the forefront of development and progress should be made with sustainability incorporated. And the fifth point stresses the need for Thailand to be prepared for future issues that may arise and be ready to meet any unforeseen global challenges. Bang Su Grand Station will begin the rollout of Thailand's booster shot program, a third vaccine to bolster the effectiveness of those who have already received 2 doses of the vaccine. The director of the station says that the rollout will begin today. The first round of injections will be for 150,000 people who were initially vaccinated against COVID-19 between March and May with the Sinovac vaccine. That vaccine is said to be less effective against the Delta variant, which is now found in the majority of infections in Thailand. Phuket's domestic entry restrictions will be eased on October 1st, but changes are minimal. People still need to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and test negative for the virus to enter the island. But now, instead of requiring a negative COVID-19 test issued 72 hours before arrival, visitors will now have to show a test issued within the last 7 days. Travelers can also do an antigen test at the checkpoint. A ranger was killed last night during a grenade attack at his station in Pattani, a deep south province near the Malaysian border that frequently experiences violence due to the ongoing religious separatist insurgency. Reports say assailants had thrown 3 hand grenades at the security booth where the ranger was stationed. He died on the way to the hospital. And now for the top headlines in Southeast Asia. In Myanmar, military forces which took over the government in February are systematically abducting relatives of people they are seeking to arrest. Reports say some children taken away by troops are as young as 20 weeks old, and The Guardian reports that a UN official for the country is warning of a human rights catastrophe. In Singapore, many migrant workers who live in dormitories are not allowed to leave except to go to work after a series of COVID-19 outbreaks clustered at the dormitories were reported, according to BBC. But while COVID-19 cases have dropped significantly, the workers are still only allowed to leave for work. BBC says this is one of the longest periods of COVID confinement faced by anyone, anywhere in the world. In Malaysia, the country's foreign minister says the government will continue to negotiate with Singapore authorities on the gradual reopening of borders, which will be based on the COVID-19 situation in both countries, according to Channel News Asia. The minister says the COVID-19 situation in both countries has not subsided and tight border restrictions will continue for now. In Vietnam, Reuters reports that the country's trade minister has launched an investigation into allegations that sugar originating from Thailand is being imported through neighboring countries to avoid anti-dumping taxes. And now for an update on the COVID-19 situation in Thailand. Today, September 24th, the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration reported 12,697 new COVID-19 cases and 132 coronavirus-related deaths. In the latest wave of the virus, which was first recorded on April 1st, the CCSA has reported a total of 1,508,447 confirmed COVID-19 infections. In the 24-hour period since the last count, the CCSA has reported 13,540 recoveries. There are now 127,392 patients in Thailand receiving treatment for COVID-19. And that wraps up the COVID-19 update. For more news on Thailand, go to thetiger.com or check out our evening show, Thailand News Today.